Hi, my name's Haley Ibarra, and I had the pleasure of analyzing Simon Sinek's TED Talk on how great leaders inspire action. Sinek wasn't wrong when he said watching this video would change the way you view how the world works and even how you operate in it. If you haven't already watched it, do yourself a favor because he gives deep insight on leaders like the Wright brothers, who were the pioneers of aviation, Martin Luther King Jr., leader of the civil rights movement in America, and Apple, who's the most innovative and leading computer company. For the sake of time, I won't go into details of these examples, but just know they're truly worth hearing. You see, Sinek developed a theory called the Golden Circle to describe how these leaders were able to communicate and inspire action among followers where others weren't by analyzing the way they thought, acted, and communicated. The what describes the facts and information about an idea or company. It's the what every single person or organization knows 100% through. The how describes how they do it by either identifying their strategies or what sets them apart from others, which only some people know how to communicate effectively. The why describes why these leaders do what they do. Then Sinek goes on to explain how the why cannot simply be defined by making a profit, as this is really only the result of success, but should never be defined as the why. And I'll explain later as to why this is important, but basically, the why should be rooted from purpose, not the bag. When answering the why, Sinek instructs people to ask themselves, what's your cause? What's your belief? What gets you out of bed in the morning? And why does your organization need to exist? Why should anyone care? Tough questions, right? This is why very few people lead with this. You see, what leaders fail to realize is that in order to inspire action from people, they shouldn't communicate their ideas or organizations in the same manner they usually interpersonally communicate. In conversation, we communicate what we do, how we do it, and how we're somehow different or better than others. And in return, we expect some sort of reaction or behavior. We do this because we communicate information that's the clearest to us to what is then the usually most fuzziest. But this isn't really inspiring any impactful action or thoughts from anyone. But if you reverse the order of information by first explaining why you do what you do, how you do it, and then what results you get, that delivers an emotional appeal and grabs the attention of others. In the TED Talk, Simon Sinek explains the Golden Circle, an abstract thought, and makes it his very own, which describes the characteristics of transformational leadership. In chapter 4 of the book, we learn that transformational leaders lead by being interactive, visionary, empowering, and passionate, which then converts followers into leaders themselves. The Golden Circle says that by leading with the why and how, you not only inspire action from followers by encouraging them to embrace that idea or organization's purpose, but you allow followers to take that thought and make it their own. To further support this, Ki-Hoo Jun and Jungkook Lee launched a study that aimed to investigate the relationship among transformational leadership, followers, innovative behavior, and commitment to change. And what they found was that when leaders take this critical role in fostering and nurturing followers' innovative behavior, they influence the entire attitude and outlook on followers. The findings also say these characteristics and transformational leaders enable them to be more creative, better at problem solving, and find comfort in constantly challenging the status quo, which Simon Sinek literally says word by word when he explains the importance of leading with why and how. Throughout the video, Sinek repetitively says people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And in chapter 8, on page 255, we learn about the different types of leadership in organizations and how leaders who lead as culture makers concern themselves with much more than just organizational charts, information management systems, and all other traditional subjects of management training. Why, you ask? because they pay close attention to the assumptions, values, and symbols that create and reflect organizational culture. This literally hones in on why Sinek believes it's important for leaders to know their purpose. One that isn't related to money, because when leaders or CEOs who hire employees for money, they'll only stay when the money makes sense. But if you hire employees who believe what you believe, they will work hard through sweat and tears because it feels right and because it makes them feel good to inspire people who in turn will also inspire others. When leaders establish a clear purpose and the values of a company, it motivates people to not show up for the leader, but to show up for themselves. Not because they have to, but because they want to, because they believe what you believe. An academic journal written by Cheryl Zarowski focuses on the role of communication in organizational learning and how effectively communicating a clear and common goal shapes organizational culture that builds trust, fosters learning among followers, and helps them embrace change. Inspired leaders and inspired organizations, regardless of their size and industry, all communicate from the inside out, from the why to how, and then to what. Sinek says the goal is not to do business with everyone who needs what you have. The goal is to do business with people who believe what you believe. And that's where loyalty and trust beats the competition and sets you apart. People don't buy or get impressed by what you do. People buy and get inspired by why you do it. Thanks for listening to my TED Talk analysis.